parents, I would imagine, have been in constant contact with him. How do they feel about it? How does his mother feel about it?
I don't know how his mother feels about it. I can tell you that I'm pretty sure his mother's going to be called to testify and will be giving some very damaging evidence.
What would she say?
Well, she's going to be able to place her son alone in the bedroom with Michael Jackson at about conservatively 50 or 60 nights. So this is not just an impromptu sleepover. This is a relationship in her own home for 30 nights, in Michael Jackson's apartment in Los Angeles, at Neverland, in hotels in Las Vegas, New York, Paris, Monaco, every night, night after night, alone in the bedroom. So that's going to be very damaging.
Alone in a bedroom.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I love the interaction I've been getting and all the love I've been getting since I got started. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, comment. You know, I read all of it as much as I can and try to respond as much as I can. My goal with this channel is just to get stories right. And I know I said that I'm not gonna stay on this Jackson stuff too much. I want to do some positive stuff. I want to do some fun stuff. I want to tell some fun stories because you see all these books back here. Like I've read a lot, and there's some funny things in there too. But you know, I just keep running into this Jackson thing, and I really just want to get the story right. I'm not, you know, anybody who wants to defend Michael Jackson, feel free to reach out to me if you want to come on the channel. I'm happy to talk and have a discussion. I just want to get the story right. And I think it's unfair that we literally have people out here who don't want to get the story right. And it's disheartening. The topic is too serious to not want to get the story right. The topic has too many holes that need to be filled because nobody wants to be a person accusing somebody of something they didn't do. And at the same time, when the allegation is as serious, we should show the victims grace and respect to fact check the information. I see that there's people who really want to tell a story that doesn't jive with the data. Michael Jackson wasn't just sitting at home one day and got accused of touching kids. There's connections, there's relationships built, there's conversations, you know, there's attempts to get along with these kids. For me, that's enough to say, okay, the burden of proof is now on Michael. Like, why are you having to sleep in bed with kids? So I'm just gonna make an effort to get the story right, y'all. And I've run across some more data. So my last show, I did a detailed run on the FBI files and said this is the truth about what was in the FBI files. There is nothing in the files that exonerate him. However, there is data that says the FBI was absolutely interested in pursuing a case against Michael Jackson. That's one of the things I get is people bring up these FBI files, but they don't read them. They don't look through the details. They just assume they say nothing. And I know it's not everybody's fault. We have to read these things for ourselves, and we have to be unbiased as we look at them. What I have today is I found a page in the FBI files that speaks to the 2003 allegations for Gavin Arvizo. The FBI took a trip to New York, and I mentioned this in the last episode. They dealt with an uncooperative witness. The uncooperative witness is none other than Jordan Chandler. Jordan Chandler at some point moved to New York to live, and all of you who say watch Square One, we know he had an interaction with a girl and said he was, or she noticed he was Jordan Chandler, or whatever that story was. And that's what kills me. It's kind of like people who say that stuff. Like, can you give me a picture of you and Jordan together? Like if you're going to try to convince me that he entrusted that kind of information into you, you have a picture with him? You have anything with him? I don't know. But I digress. Back to the topic. The FBI met up with Jordan Chandler and they interviewed him. And I think that if we really want to get this story right, we have to consider what the FBI says. Now, I'm not the one that keeps bringing up the FBI files. It's people who want to defend Michael who bring those up. They say they investigated him for these several years and they found nothing. That is false. The FBI says they found Jordan Chandler absolutely credible. And what you have in these files is support of that because the FBI clearly found something. They found something so much that they wanted to pursue a federal case against Michael Jackson. Now, if they didn't find anything, why would they want to pursue a federal case? We have to know our history here. We have to know our laws here. When Michael Jackson first took the Chandlers on a trip, they first went to Vegas. Now, nothing happened in Vegas. Jordan slept in the bed with Michael after watching The Exorcist. His mom went to his bedroom and saw he wasn't sleeping in his bedroom. She saw him coming from Michael's room, and he told her he slept in the bed with Michael because he was scared. Right? No talk of molestation, no talk of being harmed. Just he slept in the bed because the movie scared him, and he slept in the bed with Michael. And fast forward that later that day when Michael and Jordan are supposed to go to Cirque du Soleil. I think it was Cirque du Soleil or Cirque du Soleil, whatever. Yeah, I'll get it right. But they went to Cirque du Soleil and Jordan apparently told Michael that his mother did not want him sleeping in the bed with Michael. She didn't want that. Michael interrupted that trip to Cirque du Soleil to go back to Las Vegas and argue with June about sleeping in the bed with her son. And after arguing for 30 to 45 minutes, and Jordie and Michael begging her to do it, and that's so weird. That's like, you know how two best friends be begging their parents to let them go somewhere? And they be waiting for the parents to say yes. They're like, please, that kind of stuff. That's the vibe I'm kind of getting from this. And it's so weird because Michael Jackson's a 34-year-old man. But in the testimony and in Jordan's statement, Michael Jackson resulted to crying and begging June to let Jordan sleep in his bed. And in Jordan's statement, he says, I slept in the bed with him from that point on until the end of the relationship. Man, that's tough. Like, you have a grown man begging this woman to let her kid sleep in the bed with him. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I get bothered with stuff like that because I'm not viewing this as Michael Jackson being a child. He's 34 years old, and he's begging this mother to let him sleep with her 13-year-old child. So after that, Jordan is in the bed with Michael every single time. Now, that means he slept in bed with him in Vegas. He slept in bed with him when they went to Disney World. Right? Now, around May of 1993, they go to Monaco. And in Jordan's statement, this is where things got out of hand. All right? This is the first time that he and Michael see each other naked. So there's other acts going on, and they are sexual in nature. How this relates to the FBI investigation is this is absolutely 100% a violation of the Mann Act. He's taken a minor across state lines to have his way with him. And not only that, he's gotten the parent to leave the side of the child by giving them his credit card so she can go shopping in Italy. It's textbook Mann Act. Textbook. So when we say now that the FBI didn't find anything, we know that that is not true. They found that he violated the Mann Act. They found him credible. They found Gavin Arvizo credible. This is what Jim Clemente told us in the last episode. And let's see. Do we have... Yeah, let's get... here we go. The Mann Act, also known as the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910, is a U.S. federal law that criminalizes the transportation of individuals across state lines for the purpose of prostitution or any other immoral purpose. Again, the cold water moment. It should be like cold water on someone. That's what the FBI is looking for. An opportunity to federally charge Michael Jackson with violating the Mann Act. Jordan Chandler, it seems like every day he's becoming more and more credible. Now, let's get to what Jordan Chandler actually told the FBI. Now, we don't have, quote, word for word. All I have is the notes that say, and let me get back to this in regards to the Mann Act. So this is in the FBI. This is in the FBI. This is in the FBI file. Writer requests a case be opened for a caption investigation in June 2004. Santa Barbara Assistant District Attorneys Ron Zonin and Gordon Auchincloss met with Behavioral Analyst Unit at Quantico. Quantico is home of the FBI. After hearing the facts about the captioned victim, which is Jordan Chandler, but the Behavior Analysis Unit informed the SBA DAs that a federal case could still be pursued. That's what the FBI found. So when people start saying the FBI investigated him for 10 years, you tell them, no, that is not true. They did not investigate him for 10 years. They did not have surveillance on him for 13 years, whatever number you're using. Okay, they didn't do that. And when they say they didn't find anything, wrong again. They absolutely found something. They found that a federal case could still be pursued because the facts of the case say that Michael Jackson violated the Mann Act because he took Jordan Chandler from California to Monaco. He separated the parent by sending the parent shopping in Italy so he could have his way with Jordan Chandler in a suite in Monaco, which is a violation of the Mann Act. Thank you. I was doing my Squidward voice. But yeah, this is it. It's right here in black and white. It's here in black and white what the FBI said. You can't see Jordan Chandler's name in here because all the names are redacted other than Michael Jackson. But, minor victim, lived in New York. What else they say represents Jordan Chandler? Okay, so in this document, this page, because this specific to this is 5 pages. It's just 5 pages of the entire document because I believe it's like 600 pages in total. 300 were actually released. So you got to really go through them and you got to really pay attention to what they're saying in here because I want to go back and reread some of these. I just happened to stumble on this one. Here we go. All right. So this says on September 28th, this is apparently after the meeting took place. On September 28th, 2004, special agents blank and blank, I don't know who the agents are, the names are crossed out, but I'm assuming one of them has to be Jim Clemente. But, all right, but special agents blank and blank met with Jordan Chandler to discuss the caption matter. Do they say what the matter is? It doesn't really say what the matter is, but during the meeting, Chandler advised the agents that he had no interest in testifying against Jackson. Chandler advised that he would legally fight any attempt to do so. Chandler believed that he had done his part. And that's that. Jordan was not going to cooperate. In a way, I don't blame him because he gave them a lot of information. And today, knowing that other people have come out, he's way more credible than ever. He definitely could have took down Michael Jackson. And in reality, I don't think any kid at that time wanted that on his shoulders. And it's probably still traumatic to him today. I don't know how we can keep defending this. Like, here, this is the FBI file right here. The same FBI file everybody wants to reference and say he did nothing and they didn't find anything. Absolutely 100% untrue. Michael Jackson is potentially one accuser away from doing Fed time.
Raymond Chandler's nephew was 13 years old back in 1993 when he accused Michael Jackson of molesting him. The case was settled for millions of dollars. Mr. Chandler, good morning. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
So your nephew was 13 years old. The case, as I mentioned, never went to court. It was settled. Some reports estimate that $15 million were paid to your nephew, millions more to his parents, a total perhaps as much as $25 million. Those facts fairly accurate in your opinion?
I think so, yes.
Do you think the facts of that previous case and the settlement of that previous case should be admitted into the current trial?
Well, I think some of the facts should be, of course, it's up to the judge, but there was some very damaging evidence. That, of course, is the reason why Michael Jackson settled. He likes to claim that, he just wanted to get on with his life, but as I detailed in my book, piece by piece, evidence by evidence, there was a mountain of evidence which finally made him give up.
So if your nephew were to testify in the current trial, how damaging, in your opinion, would his words be?
Well, let me just say here today that my nephew's not going to testify.
Well, let's talk about that, because we had heard reports that he did not want to testify, but we had not heard any definitive statement on that.
Well, this is a definitive statement. He's not showing up. He's out of the country where he cannot be found. He doesn't want to be the Michael Jackson boy. He doesn't want any involvement.
So even if he's subpoenaed by the prosecution, he will not return to this country to testify?
That's whether the prosecution subpoenas him or not. I don't know, but I can tell you he's not going to show up this trial.
What are his reasons?
He's just sick of it. He's sick. Actually, it's the media, to be honest with you. He's hounded by the media. He's had to move several times because of being the Michael Jackson kid. He just doesn't want to be the Michael Jackson kid anymore.
How do you feel about that decision?
I don't like it. I think his testimony would be crucial to this case.
Have you spoken to him directly about it?
No, I have not.
His parents, I would imagine, have been in constant contact with him. How do they feel about it? How does his mother feel about it?
I don't know how his mother feels about it. I can tell you that I'm pretty sure his mother's going to be called to testify and will be giving some very damaging evidence.
What would she say?
Well, she's going to be able to place her son alone in the bedroom with Michael Jackson at about conservatively 50 or 60 nights. So this is not just an impromptu sleepover. This is a relationship in her own home for 30 nights, in Michael Jackson's apartment in Los Angeles, at Neverland, in hotels in Las Vegas, New York, Paris, Monaco, every night, night after night, alone in the bedroom. So that's going to be very damaging.
Alone in a bedroom, spending time together, did she ever witness any sexual act between Michael Jackson and her son?
To my knowledge, no.
I'm curious, your nephew, and you say you haven't spoken to him about this, does he, I guess in no way he doesn't feel any obligation to testify, even considering that perhaps it might prevent future victims?
I think it was probably a very tough decision for him to weigh both sides, but obviously the side that he doesn't want to be involved and he doesn't want to be the Michael Jackson boy or have his picture taken, or he just wants to move on with his life.
Does he feel any guilt about his decision, and the family, do they feel any guilt about their decision back in 1993, that perhaps had they testified in a criminal investigation or trial then, that this current case could have been avoided?
Well, the decision was not really his at the time because he was a child. It was the family's decision, the parents' decision. But actually, that's one of the biggest myths that's stuck around for 12 years, that they refused to testify at a criminal trial. Actually, they agreed to testify at a criminal trial, provided that be given witness protection. The death threats were so serious, animals with their heads cut off left at the door, telephone threats coming in, people trying to get into the house, into the place of business, bomb threats. Last year, a spokesperson for the LADA's office confirmed that, in fact, that request was made and was denied. Had it been approved and they got protection, the criminal trial would have gone forward.
As you know, Michael Jackson's side in this says that these cases are all about money. People trying to get money from Michael Jackson.
Right.
By now, not agreeing or refusing to participate in this current trial, do you think your nephew risks that allegation cropping up again, that he was willing to settle out of court for money and not willing to go to the criminal process?
Right. Of course he risks that allegation, and that's one of the reasons I'd like him to testify, and obviously to prevent other boys from spending the night alone with Michael Jackson. I think that's the most important thing. Obviously my nephew has his own concerns, and they're a priority to him.
But again, let's just make sure we understand the headline that comes out of this interview is that you are guaranteeing that your nephew, the alleged victim in the 1993 sexual molestation case against Michael Jackson, will refuse to testify in the current criminal trial.
That's what I'm saying. Barring some sort of epiphany on his part, or he has a revelation that maybe he's wrong and should change his mind. But yes, that's
and he's not in the country at this point. Were the prosecutors to try to reach him?
No, he's not.
Raymond Chandler. Mr. Chandler, thanks very much.